Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Republic of Turkey, His Excellency Lutfi Elvan, President of the Committee on Planning and Budget of the Grand Assembly of Turkey and former Deputy Prime Minister, welcomes all the participants of the World Congress 2020.
Dear Chairman, Her Royal Highness, Madam President, dear Ministers, esteemed guests, it is really a great pleasure for me because this is the second time I've been here for the opening session and to address this distinguished audience in this open ceremony of the World Business Angels Investment Forum. I also want to take this opportunity to express my warm welcome to our guests and hope that you find some time to experience the cultural and social richness of the magnificent city, Istanbul. Dear guests, as we all know, the world is in constant transformation of becoming more globalized in terms of social, cultural, and trade aspects each and every day. Along with the advanced globalization, ownership models and investment practices of classical companies evolved from locally based firms or small and medium-sized enterprises to multinational companies. Borders, nationalities, and languages are less important in the new type of business practices. Owners of large enterprises are not big families or friends that closely know each other anymore, but thousands of millions of shareholders from all around the globe that have a common interest. What is this common interest? Making profit, of course. We celebrate the importance of shaping tomorrow's world in the context of the new ideas and innovation. We can make a difference by realizing the full potential of those ideas, bringing prosperity as well as environmental, social, and governance impact. Thus, I am thankful to our distinguished guests for sparing their valuable time, organizers and contributors for their effort. I sincerely hope that the World Congress World Business Angels Forum will be a catalyst for cross-border investments, collaborations, and trade on a global scale. Dear guests, as well-connected people of the 21st century, we all share the same air, soil, water, faith, and feelings. Happenings on the one side of the world have impact on the other side of the world. The consequences of our actions are experienced by every single person living on this planet. The technology, innovation, and economic developments triggered by disruption of traditional models have been eroding borders between countries. Having connected to each other like the links of chain, we are supposed to embrace and learn from each other. In an increasingly connected world, entrepreneurial spirit, innovations, and technological disruptions are the major drivers behind the transformation of global economy and trade. In this context, business angels play a key role as the first investor who provide required resources for startups to grow and new ideas to flourish, changing the world continuously. Dear guests, many global companies which dominate the major markets today were founded a few decades ago, driven by nothing but the passion, determination, and courage of a handful of entrepreneurs. In other words, the world economy is formed by and evolved with the influence of driven entrepreneurs and business angels backing them. The global venture capital market, venture capital plus angel investors, increased dramatically to 294 billion US dollars in 2019 from 46 billion US dollars of 2010. And this is the highest point in the history of venture capital economy. Although the size of funds are quite high, they have mostly focused on bigger deals in the last stages of the development. As a result, an investment gap remains in early stages of startup life cycles. On the other hand, investment activities and industries are diversified, new areas are emerging and attracting the attention of venture capital and private equity funds. Living in this extraordinarily dynamic economic ecosystem and being aware of the opportunities it brings about, Turkey has a strong ambition to improve its venture capital and angel investor ecosystem. Although the volume of venture capital and angel investment is not large enough yet, we achieved 66% growth just in 2019, reaching to 102 million US dollars. With this figure, Turkey is placed in the first league in MENA and Europe Investment League. If we only look at business angel investments, business angels invested 23 billion US dollars in the United States and 7.5 billion euro in Europe. Turkey is ranked fourth in Europe by 22 business angel networks and 141 angels. In Turkish ecosystem, we have approximately 2,600 business angels, 505 of which are accredited, and 30 business angel networks, 15 of which are again accredited. Although a significant progress has been made in Turkey in recent years, as stakeholders, we all should be working hard to increase these numbers. Dear guests, our government, led by His Excellency Mr. President Erdogan, has contributed significantly in the development of venture ecosystem. Our government promoted investments throughout the life cycles of companies for 18 years, from the very early stages where business angels invest in, to the late stages where private equity and strategic investors in. We made it a priority to support entrepreneurs during the entire venture journey with targeted approaches brought by the Ministry of Treasury and Finance and Ministry of Industry and Technology, as well as institutions such as regional development agencies, the Scientific and Technological Research Council of Turkey, what we call it TÜBİTAK, and Small and Medium Enterprises Development Organization, again what we call it COSGAP. Angel investing is an area that our government, as I said, has given great importance. In 2013, a new legislation was enacted to support angel investors, providing 75% income tax exemption over the invested capital, which increases to 100% if angel investor invests in a startup which is supported by a government-backed program. The number of accredited business angels was 155 in 2013, which more than tripled to 505 by the end of 2019. On top of that, there are numerous programs launched by TÜBİTAK and COSGAP to develop venture ecosystem via supporting startups and entrepreneurs by way of providing equity grants, loans, and mentorship. Let me talk a bit about technoparks in Turkey. Technology development zones, or what we call it technoparks, are technology clusters organized around universities. Currently, Turkey has 67 technoparks in operation and 5,600 firms with an average size of 10 people located in these technoparks in several cities. These firms benefit from a number of tax exemptions. For example, profits resulting from software and R&D activities in technoparks are exempt from income and corporate taxes, and their R&D staff is granted income tax exemptions. Moreover, half of the employer's social security contribution is subsidized for research and development personnel for 5 years. We have a number of very mature technoparks with sophisticated professional management that support entrepreneurs and startups in all stages of product and service development, beginning from turning ideas into commercial products, services, to extending into global markets. SMEs constitute a significant part of Turkish economy, both in terms of employment and the number of firms. Therefore, Turkish government has a specific agency called COSGAP that implements several support programs addressing SMEs' shortcomings and deficiencies. Improving entrepreneurship skills and potential is particularly prioritized in this respect. In the 2011 to 2019 period, approximately 1 million people attended COSGAP's entrepreneurship support program. Around 50,000 entrepreneurs launched startups and benefited from conditional startup grants, subject to participation in startup training. Recently, building on this experience, COSGAP initiated the Entrepreneurship Development Support Program, specialized for the needs of different sectors and technology levels. Our government has also developed several schemes to support high technology startups directly. The Scientific and Technology Research Council of Turkey provides young entrepreneurs with grants up to $35,000 and mentorship. On the other hand, technology companies should be able to engage in mid to long-term innovation projects. However, this is not easy for startups facing strong financial constraints. To increase the odds of initiating R&D projects, TÜBİTAK's SME R&D support program subsidizes the R&D costs of technology startups for up to 85,000 US dollars. TÜBİTAK also has launched venture capital funding program as a co-investment program in 2018 to provide grants to venture capital funds focusing on early stage equity investments in technology-based SMEs. Dear guest, late last year, just a few months ago, we took very important step to strengthen venture capital ecosystem. We have launched 2 different funds with a total size of 750 million Turkish liras under the roof of Turkey Development Fund. These 2 funds, Technology and Innovation Fund and Regional Development Fund, will complement the gap between angel investments and early-stage private equity investments. Our Ministry of Industry and Technology will manage these funds together with the Development and Investment Bank. In line with this, the bank's technical and sectoral expertise will merge with the ministry's priorities. Such a mechanism is being implemented for the first time in our country. In a nutshell, these funds will invest in technology, industry, and innovation to accelerate the structural transformation in the economy. With the Technology and Innovation Fund, we will support technology-oriented startups which have a great growth potential in Turkey. This fund will invest directly both in companies and venture capital funds. As a result, we will be able to provide capital support to the new generation entrepreneurs, especially technopark companies. Regional Development Fund, on the other hand, amounts 400 million Turkish lira and focuses on SMEs that have opportunity to be regional and global players. This fund will support priority sectors and job creation investments. During the process, our development agencies will play a critical role to find regional champions. Development agencies are the institutions that develop policies in their regions, accelerate employment and growth. There are investment support offices operating in the agencies. In the agencies, we support entrepreneurs with the incubation centers, accelerators, mentorship, commercialization, and opening up to foreign market programs. With this regional development fund, we will provide financing the entrepreneurs and investors with a high growth potential. We will support SMEs that operate in tradable sectors and helps to decrease the current account deficit. As a result of successful implementation, SMEs will show strong growth. Growth will contribute employment creation, and regional disparities will further close. In other 2 major support initiatives driven by the public sector were Istanbul Venture Capital Initiative and Turkish Growth and Innovation Funds programs. The government institutions account for the majority of the investors. These zone funds, have been playing an important role in providing smart money to the Turkish venture ecosystem. Istanbul Venture Capital Initiative, with a fund size of 160 million euro, was Turkey's first fund of funds and co-investment program. This fund invested in 10 funds, which in turn invested in 78 companies. As the successor program, Turkish Growth and Innovation Funds, with a size of 200 million euro, aims at investing in fast-growing or innovative companies via fund of funds strategies. Technology transfer support initiatives will be continued with Turkey Future Fund, which is expected to have a size of 80 million euro. Until today, our government has successfully supported the development of venture ecosystem in numerous programs and initiatives. Business angels are the first layer of smart money, one of the most important and essential resources that entrepreneurs can benefit from. Having a well-nurtured pool of angel investments in the venture ecosystem, startups can access both financial and non-financial resources they need in order to build competitive companies. I believe this is the main pillar of economic development. Distinguished ministers, esteemed guests, I sincerely hope that the topics to be discussed during the World Business Angels Forum 2020 today are the instrumental for business angels who are crucial to reshape entrepreneurs in creating tomorrow's champions. Every success story we create will ignite the engine of development to our economy, country, and the world. It is exciting to see an ever-increasing number of entrepreneurs from Turkey who built great companies and very successful exits in recent years. I would like to end my speech by inviting business angels from all over the world to invest in Turkish startups and benefit from lucrative opportunities that the Turkish venture ecosystem provides. Your Excellency, Mr. President, ministers and distinguished guests, I want to thank you for sparing your precious time and supporting this initiative. Thank you.